New tonight on KGW News, remembering the lives lost.
I've never known anybody else who walked in love and light the way she did.
As investigators reveal the timeline that led up to the killings of 3 generations of one family. Plus,
all of a sudden we see liquor boiling through the door, and everybody says run.
as we hear from survivors of the Longview chemical tank disaster for the first time. Then, why a 17-year-old hit and injured during a street takeover wants you to see this video where he goes flying.
It's gonna suck for a while, but you do stupid things, you get stupid rewards.
And later, remembering the life of a legendary music icon and the many marks Dolly Parton left on a nation. Good evening. We begin tonight with startling new details, and friends and family in mourning after 5 people were killed in a mass shooting near Forest Grove. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco. The lives lost over the weekend include 3 generations of one family, including a grandmother and also a best friend and her partner. Well, authorities say the shooter later died by suicide. Catherine Cook's with us. Catherine, a lot to dig into here, but let's talk about the victims first.
And they include 60-year-old Rowan Kimsey. David, she inherited the property a few years back and loved living a farm life, caring for animals and her family who joined her there. Tonight, a friend told me she was also an artist whose work and love for others lives on.
The way she walked through this world was pure magic.
Laura Richards is thinking of her friend, Rowan Kimsey. For 7 years, they shared this salon space in Southeast Portland's Montevilla neighborhood. Laura, a hairstylist, Rowan, a tattoo artist. Rowan even painted this merman.
And it's just kind of become a staple of Montevilla.
Now it's a tribute to Rowan, one of 5 people murdered near Forest Grove last weekend.
In my opinion, if you were lucky enough to be in her orbit, your life was always for the better.
Washington County Sheriff's investigators say Rowan was the mother of 26-year-old Stella Kimsey, who was the first person murdered on the family's property, shot to death, they say, by Stella's boyfriend, 36-year-old Benjamin Parker. Investigators say the couple had had a big fight Friday night.
And Stella told him he had to leave.
When Rowan went to check on Stella, they say Parker shot and killed her. Detectives say later Stella's best friend, Lindsay Haraldson's partner, Alvin Chu, and Stella's grandmother, Mary Kimsey, also showed up to check on the family. Investigators say Parker shot and killed all of them before killing several pets and setting the property on fire.
Mary had previously told her friend that Mr. Parker would argue with Stella and could get very upset. She also shared that he had a mental health evaluation, which diagnosed him with bipolar disorder.
Investigators say Parker drove to Enumclaw, Washington, near Tacoma, where on Sunday he died by suicide. Detectives said Parker called his mom to confess. His father, Gary Rogers, shared this photograph of his son and this message. Please let your viewers know how immensely sorry I am for the heinous acts committed by my son. You can imagine it's tearing me up inside. As for Rowan Kimsey,
She just took care of people.
Laura says it makes sense that the last thing she did in this world
They were tight.
was try to protect and care for her family.
They showed up for each other in any situation.
Investigators say they're now waiting for toxicology reports on Benjamin Parker. They also shared a message from one Kimsey family member who asked for compassion for Parker's family. And finally, investigators say surviving livestock on the farm have been moved to other homes, something loved ones say Rowan would have wanted. David.
A tragedy here on so many levels. Thanks, Catherine. Appreciate your reporting. A reminder, if you or someone you know is a domestic violence survivor, help is available 24/7. One place to start, the National Domestic Violence Hotline. The number is 800-799-7233. For the first time, we are hearing from survivors of the chemical tank disaster at a Longview paper mill, one that killed 11 people and seriously injured at least 8 others. Investigative reporter Kyle Boshi has the new video.
We obtained more than 7 hours of video evidence collected by the Cowlitz County Sheriff's Office, which includes dash cam and body cam footage along with drone video. A warning, especially considering the loss of life. You may find the video and descriptions disturbing. Newly released video from the Cowlitz County Sheriff's Office shows the emergency response and aftermath of a catastrophic failure of a chemical tank at a Longview paper mill. 11 people died and at least 8 others were seriously injured in one of Washington's worst industrial accidents. It was just after 7 a.m. on May 26th when emergency crews got the call. Dashcam video shows police arriving at the Nippon Dynawave packaging plant. Medics and firefighters helped treat the injured after a storage tank failed, resulting in a spill of about 900,000 gallons of white liquor, a caustic chemical used in the papermaking process. Police body cameras captured a conversation between investigators and a plant supervisor.
When it exploded, what did you hear? We heard a rumbling.
Mark Massey was inside the break room when he heard the rumbling.
All of a sudden we see liquor boiling through the door, and everybody says run. And we all ran.
As they ran, Massey says, plant workers helped each other. When someone fell, others picked them up.
We got another individual that fell in the liquor, 3 deep, and I know I could hear screaming from him looking back. He was able to actually get himself out, make it.
Investigators used a drone to assess the damage. A closer look shows the tank's metal walls torn away. It's not clear what caused the tank to fail. Both state and federal investigators are looking for answers. The chemical spill mangled trucks and knocked down poles and beams. But inside the plant, one cinder block wall stayed standing. That wall protected many of the workers inside the break room.
I don't know how that thing held, and I don't know how by the grace of God that we got out that door, most of us, and got out.
Most operations at the Nippon Dynawave plant are still suspended. The company agreed to pay furloughed employees through early October. In a statement, Nippon Dynawave said it won't speculate on what caused the disaster and is actively working with state and federal investigators.
Skylar Boshi there. In an update, Oregon Secretary of State says the November election will not be impacted by a U.S. Supreme Court ruling over mail-in voting. The court sided with the Trump administration over the president's executive order requiring the Postal Service to deliver mail-in ballots only to people on federal voter lists.
Our elections will go forward as they normally do. We will soon be sending out the first ballots for the November election, and now is not the time to make major changes to how elections are run in Oregon.
Reed adding that his team and county clerks are in touch with Postal Service counterparts at all levels, though he did not say what the plan might be if the USPS refuses to deliver ballots. We'll keep you posted. All right, let's switch to a live look from our Wells Fargo Sky camera, looking out over the Rose City and the Willamette tonight after a bit of a toasty Tuesday, shall we say, on this final week of August. Matt's here with the first look ahead to Wednesday. How's it looking, Matt?
It's looking pretty good. You know, you can really feel the difference in the air mass out there tonight compared to last night. We have cooled off significantly. Check out Salem. It's only 60 degrees there right now. Think about that. We didn't drop out of the 60s last night. Winds have lightened up. They're out of the west. But we're running 8, 9, 10, 12 degrees cooler than we were at this time last night as that marine air pushed inland from the coast and has cooled us off. Hood River and the Dalles are warmer than they were last night as the warm air has pushed on off to the east, but everybody will be cooling off in the days ahead around the northwest. In fact, the northwest winds at Hillsborough, south winds at McMinnville, still a south or west wind down the valley, indicating that that marine air is in place and it's not going anywhere. Now, the smoke has gone somewhere. It moved from south to north this morning and then late in the day gets pushed all the way on off to the east. That's from the Austin fire down there in Clackamas County. And we will be smoke free in the days ahead. The air quality in the valleys all really good right now. Some places in the Cascades down one of the fires, David, still dealing with unhealthy air. We'll talk about the temperature trend. It's going down, and the rain chances, they're going up. A little later, back to you.
All right, looking forward to that. Thanks so much, Matt. New this evening, federal and local authorities are touting what they call a major uptick in the number of arrests they've made when it comes to drug traffickers and dealers on the streets of downtown Portland. Alma McCarty is here with those details. Alma.
David, more than 100 people arrested and charged over just 3 years just in downtown, and more than 100 kilograms of fentanyl and 40 guns seized. And officials say this effort is more than just numbers.
While these metrics and recent successes are important and create great sound bites, it is not what motivates the brave men and women of this office and of law enforcement.
Because behind the stats, the U.S. Attorney says, behind the kilos, guns, and cash evidence displayed during Tuesday's news conference, there's the people.
Every dealer arrested and prosecuted is a life saved. Every gram seized is a life saved.
And 3 years into the partnership between federal and local law enforcement aimed at cracking down on fentanyl trafficking in downtown Portland, officials say they've made significant headway when it comes to saving lives. Corners like Southwest 4th and Washington cleaned up, and more than 100 people arrested and charged, with that initial focus on downtown now expanding outward.
Our most recent operation took place this past weekend, beginning on Friday, which was Fentanyl Awareness Day.
That case in Washington County involved a 1-year-old, poisoned, they say, by his parents' fentanyl stash. The child survived and the suspects were arrested.
If you deal fentanyl within the downtown area, within the metro area, I will use every tool at my disposal to bring you to justice.
Now, beyond downtown, another focus of federal prosecutors, dealers who operate in or around treatment centers and public housing. David.
Thanks, Alma. Appreciate your reporting there.